Hello, I'm Nagamers HQ, and today I'm doing a different sort of review. You see, I wanted to do some movie and TV show reviews on this channel, but then I thought, I can't really do that because it's called the Gamers HQ, not the Movie and TV Watchers HQ. You see my problem? So then I thought, wait, don't video games have, like, movie parts to them? You know, the cutscenes, the storyline, all of that. I mean, honestly, not many people review those, so I thought I might as well go and do it myself. So I decided to start a new line of reviews called Terrible Gaming Storylines. But why on earth am I starting with Sonic Colors, and why am I even reviewing Sonic Colors' storyline to begin with? Well, as much as I like the game, even though it has like way too much 2D sections, I really hate the storyline. When done right, Sonic storylines I think are actually really good. When done right, the storylines can help you get through levels, as they motivate you to get through each challenge to find out what the next cutscene will be. But lately, Sonic games have been following a trend of being more lighthearted and silly rather than complex and dark. And this is the one that has to have the least seriousness in it, and to be honest, it's just not that good. Whether you agree with me or not, it's time to see exactly why I think that this is a terrible gaming storyline. Hey, didn't that cutscene I just show you have heaps of action? Well, too bad that there's not going to be any for the rest of the story. Sorry about that, I guess. Okay, I can already hear you typing in the comments section that this is supposed to be a simple story. I mean, it's not like you're allowed to go and make fun of Mario storylines, are you? I mean, all it is the princess gets stolen, because, you know, Mario games don't care about storyline, they just want you playing as soon as possible. But here, I don't know, it's not as simple as it could be. There's still a decent worth of cutscenes here. They could have easily have done something with this story. Also, I know that some people actually like this story and consider it one of their favorites, so if that's the case with you, that's alright. This is just my opinion. I'm just going through why I hate it, so don't think that you have to hate it because I do, okay? With that out of the way, let's just begin right now. Believe it or not, when you first start up the game, you actually play through the first 2 levels without having to worry about a storyline at all. I have to give it credit for that, because when you think about it, when you start up a game, you don't want to have to sit through heaps of cutscenes, you just want to get straight to the action first and then worry about the story later. But it's kind of embarrassing when you realize that I'm giving credit for it not existing in a certain place. Okay, if you didn't get it from the subtitles already, the main storyline is about Sonic and Tails going to a theme park that Eggman opened up, and invited people there despite there being no people there. Look, Sega, I know you have like a fear of putting people in your games after Sonic 06 and Unleashed, but really, not one person is here. They want you to believe that there's crowds of people everywhere, but we never see even one. Just put some of Sonic's friends in there to show that there are other people here. I mean, how stupid would it be if Sonic and Tails were the only people at Eggman's theme park? Because then he would be inviting everyone but Sonic and Tails, but then Sonic and Tails show up and they're the only ones there. Also, another problem I have, this place barely even looks like a theme park. You base the entire game around it. But there's really only 2 worlds in this whole game that really looks like proper theme parks. This one, well, I guess, and the Asteroid Coaster, which still isn't that theme parky. I mean, come on, you remember what was it, Twinkle Park in Sonic Adventure? That had more to do with theme parks in one level than this entire game. And yes, it is relevant to the story because it is set in a theme park. So Sonic and Tails are talking about how big and amazing the theme park is, and how it's probably a giant evil base or fortress. No, really. This is Eggman we're talking about. Of course it's an evil base. I mean, nobody would be dumb enough to actually question.
Still, an evil plot? I don't know.
Screw you, Tails, you're supposed to be the smart one here. He's been with Sonic longer than anyone else. Surely he, of all people, would know that Eggman is up to evil plots 100% of the time! Has there ever been a Sonic game where Eggman is in it and doesn't have an evil plan? I mean, seriously.
I'm just surprised that it was so easy to sneak in here.
I wouldn't say it was that easy.
Hello, happy people! Buckle up as Eggman's ultra-accelerating space elevator whisks you to an interplanetary wonderland of fun!
I can't believe somebody was dumb enough to leave the keys in this thing. It's like Eggman's begging us to sneak in and trash the place.
Oh man, this thing's got crazy fast acceleration.
I agree with Sonic. I'm surprised as hell. What the heck happened to Eggman's security? I mean, seriously, he has robot minions everywhere. You really couldn't have had them blocking the entrance? You probably think that this makes Eggman look like a bit of an idiot, but let's be honest, the rest of the storyline's gonna do that so well that he's gonna look smart here. And although I did give credit for it having no cutscene before the first level, they probably should have put this part right in front of it instead of having it as a flashback, because it's kind of strange having it as a flashback here. And then Sonic and Tails see two of Eggman's robots trying to capture the aliens. Great, so Tails doubting that Eggman didn't have an evil plan was completely pointless. It's here we get introduced to Orbot and Cubot, who are going to be the source of most of the jokes in this storyline. More on the humor later.
Your voice chip is stuck on Cowboy again. Stop talking and net those aliens.
That voice chip joke is going to get very annoying. So Sonic goes and saves the aliens. Then the story tries to do an action scene, but they really could have done it better. But whatever. So the alien has energy in it that lets Sonic use lasers. Jeez, but then what if it just used the energy to fry Sonic instead and zap him? I mean, what have been the chances of that? What would have been the chances that the alien thought that Sonic was trying to capture him as well and fried him to death? I mean, seriously Sonic, there's some quick thinking that you're doing here. But not exactly the good kind. Yet you don't get punished for it. Not until Sonic Lost World, but we'll talk about that some other time. When Sonic returns, he tells Tails all about the energy that the alien gave him. And Tails says to him,
I find that hard to believe.
and exactly why, Tails? Sonic has used crazy energy all the time with the Chaos Emeralds turning to Super Sonic. I mean, if gems can turn Sonic into some crazy energy-filled weapon, then surely some aliens can do it. Are you becoming some kind of skeptic? I don't even know anymore. So Sonic and Tails decided to work out how capturing aliens will work for Eggman's plan. Well, what do you think? They just gave you the power to shoot lasers. Surely that can be used for something. Whatever. At this point, we're introduced to Dr. Eggman, and I'm pretty sure we can all tell that this is not going to end well.
23, 24, 25... not nearly enough aliens!
You've captured 4 other alien planets. 5 if you're including Starlight Carnival. I'm pretty sure you shouldn't be surprised to find out that 25 aliens isn't enough.
Precious little aliens! I'll harness their hyper-go-on power, and then nothing will stop me! I know I say that every time, but this time, really, nothing will stop me! What? Sonic!
Who you calling nothing?
He means since the boss said nothing will stop me, and Sonic here is going to stop him, it's like the boss was calling Sonic nothing.
Great! I thought nobody would get that.
Wow, Sonic's line actually got a smile out of me. Just a shame that that was going to be the last time for this entire story. Look, if you like the jokes, that's okay, but they just don't really work for me. They feel really lame and cheesy, not really well done, but then I guess this is kind of aimed at kids, so I can understand. But if they decided to make a not very complex storyline just so they could have heaps of jokes, then it's definitely not worth it. Tails then shows Sonic some translator that lets them talk to wisps, which the aliens are called, by the way, and this leads to some not very funny translation jokes.
Who are you, and what is happening to your people?
Okay, he says his name is Talks-a-Lot, and he's from a faraway soda, and where flowers water them with dances.
Yeah, I think your machine still has some bugs.
If only this was going to be the last time they used it, though. Then we see Orbot and Cubot cleaning up the remains of the robot that Sonic trashed earlier. So these guys are like Eggman's janitors as well? I don't know, why does he only keep these two around him? Wouldn't he keep like hundreds of these? He'd probably get aliens captured quicker and messes cleaned up faster. We then see some part of the robot being stuck in Eggman's tower. Remember that, that's going to be important. Sonic and Tails go to one of the worlds that Eggman is holding captive, and Sonic goes and destroys one of the generators there, as well as the boss that protects it. And we get another scene of Sonic and Tails just standing around and talking. You know, there's another problem I have with this. Most of the cutscenes are just Sonic standing around and talking to Tails. It is really boring. They could have had a bit more action, don't you think? I mean, every other Sonic game has. Using the translator, Tails finds out that the energy inside the aliens is really powerful. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we already knew that. And we get another translation joke. Another translation joke.
Funny thing, it was first translating as horrible body odor. Anyway, it seems an evil man, and you might know him, who they call Baldy Nosehair.
Baldy Nosehair? That's the best thing I've heard all day.
Too bad it's not the best thing I've heard all day. In fact, it's one of the worst. Like I said, I really hate these jokes. Then we find out that Dr. Eggman's draining the aliens of their power. And to be honest, I stopped caring a long time ago, but whatever. Then Sonic and Tails travel to the Starlight Carnival so they can get to the next generator. Only problem is, Dr. Eggman's there. And we see him with some kind of new machine.
Tails, is that you humming?
Sonic, look out!
Tails! Tails, buddy?
He's my buddy now.
Oh no, how dramatic. Tails is against Sonic and Sonic has to defeat him, his best friend. And what is he going to? Oh no, Tails is instantly okay in just a few seconds.
Why is my nose hair tingling?
I'm not even sure how to respond to that.
Lousy, cheap alien energy. Huh? Ran out of juice. Well, I'll get more. Lots more. And then I won't just control one little punk, but the whole universe.
And how are you going to do that? You can't even control one person for more than a few seconds, and yet you've captured 5 planets and a ton of aliens. Exactly how much are you going to need to control the entire planet for eternity? It is not going to work. And you have to have unlimited energy, which you seemingly don't have, considering you only managed to control Tails for more than a few seconds. This plan sucks! After failing horribly, Dr. Eggman leaves Sonic a robot to fight. And Sonic says to Tails,
Pay up, Tails! I told you he had an evil plot, and coming here was a good idea. There it is, straight from the horse's mouth.
What? Why would Tails think that this is a normal safe theme park? I mean, at this point, Sonic has fought tons of evil robots and told Tails about it, and Tails has believed him. Not to mention, Tails has already found out that Dr. Eggman is taking energy away from aliens. Surely that would be enough to tell you that this theme park is evil. Well, whatever, let's just go on to the next scene. In this scene, we see Dr. Eggman talking about his plans and arguing with his robot minions. This scene could have and should have been removed from the story entirely. We get nothing from this. We already know Dr. Eggman's plans. The only purpose is that dumb voice chip joke, which, sorry, I do not like. They only use it a few times, but it feels like 100.
Oh, I think I gloated so hard I pulled a muscle.
Remember when Dr. Eggman used to be a decent villain? I mean, he's terrible here. He's just a big clown. And if you want to see what I'm talking about, go and play the adventure games, especially Sonic Adventure 2. Then come back and tell me, look me in the eyes and tell me that Dr. Eggman is not an idiot here. Even his own minions make fun of him, which is really, really, really disappointing. Dr. Eggman can be such a good villain, but here, yeah, like I said, he's just an idiot. Anyway.
You know, as alien as this place is, there's something very Eggman-ish about it.
Really? I never would have guessed. I was sure that all this machinery and metal was all natural.
It looks like the theme of his park is universal domination and the conquest of alien races.
It's more than a theme, it's a reality. He's using them like some kind of living intergalactic gas.
We already know that Eggman is taking all the aliens' powers. You'd have to keep telling us, don't you? We already know. Then we get yet another translation joke, although this one is okay, I guess. Also, just a quick problem I have with the game, not the story. Why do they keep reusing the same bosses? I mean, seriously, it's really that hard to make 6 bosses? Well, I guess it isn't about the story though, so I won't complain. Soon enough, there's a scene where Sonic fights the boss at Aquarium Park, and then we get a joke that is not just meh, it's actually really long and annoying.
Hey, did somebody here order a clobbering? Are you sure? It says somebody ordered an extra large clobbering topped with everything. Okay. Tell you what, I can't take this thing back, so I'll give you an extra large clobbering for nothing. Hope you're hungry.
The joke may go on for only a couple of seconds, but by God does it feel like an eternity! However, the next scene we get is actually pretty good. I think it is actually the best scene in the whole game. Why, you may ask? Because Sonic sees exactly what's going to happen to his cute little alien friends if he does not succeed. This scene tells the player, hey, if you don't try and finish the game with Sonic, this is what's going to happen to all of the aliens. They're all going to be turned into evil beings. And Sonic and Tails really do make sure to drive this home. They're very worried and determined. What a shame that straight after, Sonic just goes right back to,
yeah, that's right, I'm stretching. You got a problem with that?
Anyway, Sonic and Tails managed to get rid of all the generators. So, hooray, I guess. With the Wisps free, Sonic and Tails decide that it's time to go home, completely forgetting that Dr. Eggman could rebuild the generators and recapture the Wisps, but, you know, whatever.
I don't remember you fighting off any insane robots.
True. Well, good job to you on inventing a translator that allowed us to speak to the aliens and figure out exactly what we needed to do so we weren't running around the park looking like idiots.
Well, let's think about that. Did Sonic actually ever need Tails' help? Actually, no. By the time Tails got his translator working, Sonic had already destroyed 2 generators, and he found them without any help from the Wisps, which meant that Sonic could have destroyed them all without the Wisps' help, which means that Tails was completely useless in this. I mean, this is probably the first Sonic game in a long time where Sonic and Tails are the only 2 main heroes. And you're telling me that they couldn't even find a use for even one of Sonic's friends? Ugh, give me a break. Despite having all his generators destroyed, Dr. Eggman says that his real plan hasn't been used yet, and that's to use a giant mind control cannon on the world. After pointlessly arguing with his minions, Dr. Eggman gets ready to fire the mind control laser. It looks like the world is doomed, and Sonic and Tails aren't going to do a damn thing about it, but then suddenly it blows up for some reason. But, why? Oh, it's because there was that thing stuck in it after Sonic beat the robot, which he did without even realizing? Oh, wow, really? Way to make everything feel completely pointless. Sonic and Tails could have left after destroying the first robot, and Eggman's plan still would have been foiled. Ugh, why did they do that? If they wanted to do that plotline, they should have got Tails to put some sort of bomb on the cannon while Sonic was off saving the Wisps. So then it would have been unexpected, but there would also been a reason, and Tails would have been actually useful. Oh, and if you're wondering if this is a ripoff of the Eclipse cannon from Sonic Adventure 2, don't worry. According to an interview, the writers of this story don't even know what the adventure games are, and boy does it show. And Eggman agrees with me that this is completely stupid and has a rage quit, and his minions make fun of him. Who's supposed to be the stupid one here? Anyway, Sonic and Tails, that don't have any idea the world is about to be mind-controlled, notice an earthquake from the cannon.
When I feel the ground shaking under my feet and see plumes of dust rising and rubble tumbling and aliens running for their lives, yeah, I get a bad feeling. So, how about you and me make like Eggman's hairline and recede?
Yes, I am sure that's how we would all react if there was suddenly a huge earthquake and we suspected that the whole place was going to blow up. I mean, all these characters do for 99% of the story is just stand around and make lame jokes. Can we have some excitement? No? Alright then. When Sonic and Tails actually try to get out of there, Dr. Eggman stops them with his robot that he didn't have earlier, and I have absolutely no clue why it was made. He couldn't have made it in the time since the cannon failed.
Leaving so soon? There are no lines, and I've saved the best rides for last. At least let me stab your hand so you can come back in.
I know you're trying to be clever with this whole amusement park pun thing, but it's just coming off lame.
Sonic, you're just jealous that Dr. Eggman can tell better jokes than you. And Eggman says that since it's powered by the Wisps, this robot is completely invincible. And by invincible, he means invincible to everything except a bouncing blue hedgehog. And Sonic, who agrees with me that Tails is completely useless in this story, transports Tails out of the theme park and fights the Frenzy Wisp robot thingy. After beating the robot, suddenly the explosion from the mind control cannon turns into a black hole? Why? I mean, I guess it's the weird effect that the alien's energy has or something, but we never really get told this. So just black hole, there it is. Eggman gets sucked into the black hole, but Sonic decides to try and outrun it. So, can Sonic outrun a black hole? Actually, no. On the bright side though, he's saved by his Wisp friends who can survive the black hole, but why? I guess it's because they have the same energy as the energy causing the black hole, but we've never really been told this, have we? The Wisps take Sonic back to Earth. He meets up with Tails, the Wisps say goodbye and leave, and surprisingly we get a fairly good ending which isn't plagued with terrible jokes or anything to break the mood. Though we do see Dr. Eggman, who somehow survived a frickin' black hole, and he fights with his minions, and okay, now it's the end. Oh, what can I say about this story? It definitely has to be my least favorite Sonic story of all time. When it tries to be serious, it feels silly. When it tries to be silly, it comes off as annoying. I just cannot get interested in the plot. And considering we've had some pretty amazing storylines in the past, especially with the adventure games, this one just feels like a complete disappointment. And yes, I know it is supposed to be a simple story compared to other Sonic storylines, and yes, it is a lot shorter. But there are still quite a lot of cutscenes, so that's not really an excuse here. Sonic is irritating, Tails is useless, and Dr. Eggman is just a terrible, terrible villain. But hey, if you like the jokes, which is really what the purpose of this story is, then I can understand. I mean, I don't really like them personally, but if you like them, that's okay. But just because there are jokes doesn't mean that it can't be serious or have a decent plot. I know people don't play Sonic games for the story, and, well, neither do I, honestly. But the storyline of a game really does make a game more memorable, whether for a good reason or a bad reason. And whenever anyone mentions Sonic Colors, this is actually the first thing I think of, most of the time. So, Sonic Colors, in my book, has a terrible gaming storyline. But hey, on the bright side, the writers of this must have been fired, surely. I mean, it's not like anyone would actually let them try again. Oh, for crying out loud!